Oh, sorry. Ah, welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thank you for being there. I'm sorry. I got surprised. Suddenly I was live. I didn't know. Oh, you called me. You called me. There you go. The audio is fine. We're all good. Yes. Ah, so glad to be here. So glad to be here. Another day streaming, doing this thing that um, at times gives me joy. At times gives me grief. Um, at times it's just hard, and that's it. It's not much more to say. Tonight, what do we have tonight? Well, I just want to start by saying that that it's cold in Liverpool again. That's very sad. It's very sad because it's supposed to be warmer now. It's 12 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit, but if you are in a Fahrenheit country, I just want you to know that it's a lot less than we should have right now. I expect at least 15, 16 degrees. I don't know. I think this is way too much. Please, can we ask for some better weather? Please. I went to the Liverpool celebration yesterday, to the parade, and because we won, thank you very much. And I brought my Uruguay flag to see if I could see Darwin there, and I saw Darwin. He saw the flag there. He greeted us. He waved at us, which was nice. Imagine this. Probably, I don't think there were many Uruguayan flags there for him. There were many flags in many countries. Probably an Uruguayan flag, and we were like one of the. If there were two, probably in the whole parade, I'd say it's an exaggeration. So yeah, I'm glad I was one of them. If it was one or two. Feels nice. Feel nice when you're from a small country that there's so few people and you're representing your country somewhere else, and you see someone like carrying your flag and showing you, hey, I'm here for you. I think it feels nice. So it was nice to sort of go there and show our support to him, and yeah, he's a prominent Uruguayan in the city, so it's nice. It's nice. I don't know. I think I would appreciate it if I were in his place. So I figured, he'd feel good about it. So yeah, I did that, and it was cold. It was raining. It was not that cold, honestly, but it was raining. It was very annoying. The wind was terrible, and so yeah, it wasn't very nice. It was actually quite bad. But the night got quite bad later on. It should have been the whole point of the evening should have been celebrating with the players and being happy about winning this Premier League trophy. And the 20th. And yet it ended up with this horrible, terrible thing that happened with the car running into people. And it was so sad. And yeah, so, my condolences to the people who've been, harmed by this. I think there were no casualties locally. So happy about that. But yes, so many people were harmed. I think it were like 50 people or something that were injured. Apparently, it's just some bloke that was drugged or something like that. I don't know. But very, very sad. So, yes, my respects to everyone who's been harmed by this. So sad, so bad that this happened, and so now communities affected and families are affected. So in this city where I live in, that has hosted me so gracefully, and so yes, I think it's my responsibility to say something about this, and yes, to them, my respects, and hope everything, that they make a full recovery and can go back to their lives as usual. And yeah, I guess it's not going to be the same, but maybe for some of them, I really don't know how the extent of injuries or anything, but yeah, that's what I had to say about that. And yeah, it had to be all about happiness and all that, but yeah, the ending was rough, and yeah, and the weather doesn't help either. So we're in a strange place right now. But hey, let's go to game development. So talk about Rogue Engine. Let's talk about game development and Rogue Engine. Thank you very much for being there. By the way, if you enjoy web development content, if you want to stick around for some game development, leave me a like, subscribe, and yeah, we'll be there. We'll be doing some stuff today. So yeah, let's what did I? Oh, I made a hole in my beard there, didn't I? Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that's because I grew my own beard, and sometimes the light hurts me, and I dig a hole there, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I did dig a hole there. All right. So also the hair is lighter here, I think. So I have like a patch of lighter hair, and I pulled it out. Yeah, probably. All right. What did I do? I just grew my own beard, and sometimes I miss. All right. Yeah. I take a couple of scissors like that. Just go. That's how I do. That's how I do it. Sometimes I'm in a hurry, and I just make mistakes. Yeah. Yeah. I've never been to a barbershop, so yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the deal. Let's talk about the tooling that I'm building, the stuff that I'm doing, and how I'm going on about it. By the way, yeah, leave a like, all that, and remember, say hello there. Say hello. Your message is gonna be showing there, right there, and on the side. Here's this Boomer 40 says, "Hey Beard, how far away from Abbey Road were you?" I'm in Liverpool, so yeah, that's Abbey Road. It's in London. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty far from here. It's not that far, is it? Because it's a small country, but everything here feels so far apart. It's like I think transport, like inner transportation, so bad. So bad. It's incredibly bad. I think Spain handles it way better, but it's yeah, the confusion there I think is because the Beatles are from here, from Liverpool, but actually yeah, the Abbey Road is in London. What's here in Liverpool, for instance, Penny Lane, right? Penny Lane is here in Liverpool. The whole stories of the song and all that happens there in Penny Lane, which is a street here, right? It's a very, very nice street there in close to Sefton Park there. It's a very, very nice place. But mostly in summer. In summer, such a beautiful place in the summer, Liverpool, really. I mean, when you get those glimpses of summer, we had some beautiful 4 weeks, maybe now, just 1 week ago, and suddenly bad weather again. Yeah, we're back to rain and wind, and so annoying. Yeah, so but yeah, let's talk about the tooling that I'm building and the stuff that I'm doing right now, and how we're proceeding with that. So here's the thing. The interpreter, I'm building an interpreter for the no code tool, right? So the UI, while I'm doing this, I'm working on bits of the UI, which is part of the effort, and it's part of why I can't show it to you, because it's way too broken right now to show you how it really works. The interpreter itself, it's quite done already. One thing that I'm resolving is the nested the nested architectures for references, for values that you bring as reference. For instance, a value that you bring as a reference for a repeat function, right? Things like this. I built a structure that's good enough to sort of, it's really good actually, it's very extendable, so you'll be able to create your own functions, your own stuff that you'll be able to put in your in your stuff and all that, in your different functions, and the different in your code directly. But yeah, it's I think it's interesting. It's interesting because you'll see like I say, like you'll be able to sort of create stuff that you'll be able to use within your different no code tooling things that you want to do. Say you can create like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, yeah, let's this example. The thing I built, what I managed to make work was a Flappy Bird. I said, okay, I have to be able to create a Flappy Bird fully with no code. And what I did was I made a Flappy, like I took the Flappy Bird game that I had and I translated every component that I had on that game into this JSON that can be used by the interpreter. So the interpreter run this code and it works perfect. It works amazing. So and I built these little hacks there where you can, if the function is not created, you can also like get a component and get a function from that component and use that. I think these things really work. It's really cool. So besides Boomer, by the way, Boomer, thank you for the question. And thank you for being here, mate. Thank you for being. By the way, you're there on Twitch. You're a hero. Nobody's on Twitch, Boomer. You know, you're the Twitch hero. Like, who's on Twitch? Nobody's on my Twitch. You know, it's like Twitch hates me. And so thank you very much for your question. Thank you very much for being there, mate. And we have Benjamin Vlogs, who's coming in here. Welcome, Benjamin. How's it going, mate? And you creating a game from scratch. We have been creating a game from scratch that we built. Yes, we're building this. Let me show you. I'm going to share my screen now. I'll open VS Code because I have to open VS Code before anything. But yeah, we're building this tower defense because the thing about tower defense games is that they have this versatility. There's many tooling. There's lots of tooling that you have with it that you can integrate into, say, many different games. For instance, if you want to build an RTS, there are things in the tower defense that are going to be working on an RTS game, right? So the many things that we're going to build in this tower defense that we have built already in this tower defense can help you with any game, right? So that's more or less the idea. And and much of the tooling, everything that we're building here, the idea is that you will have it as a template that you can put on you'll be able to use it as a template for your own game. That's the idea behind it. So yeah, let's bring that in. And Satyam Kilor. Satyam Kilor, welcome, mate. How's it going, mate? Thank you for being there. Remember, YouTube people, to leave the like button there and a subscription. It really, really helps. I'm going to tell you this. I am six subscriptions, I think, from 1,000. I am I'm 6 subs from 1,000. It's incredible. It feels like the longest subs I've ever gotten were this last 20. It feels like it's been just an eternity to get to 1,000. It's amazing. I think getting like from the first 500 fairly easy, and now it's like whoa. So okay. Satyam Kilora asking, why are you using Rogue Engine? Is Three.js not enough to build a game on its own? Yes, it is. Satyam, and thank you very much for the question. It is enough to make a game on its own. Absolutely. You can use Three.js by itself. You can also use Vulkan by itself. You can also use, I don't know, anything by itself, right? But why would you use, say, Unreal Engine, or why would you use Unity, right, instead of using DirectX, or web anything, any renderer technology directly, right? You definitely can. I mean, it's totally doable. What happens is that you end up building a lot of tooling around it, and you end up building your own game engine in a way. Yeah, you can use Notepad. Yeah. Well, I'm talking most about renderings or renderers. You could you could use Notepad as a renderer maybe for a game. Yeah, why not? You could use a console, right? Anything really to build a game. We're talking about 3D games for the web. Three.js is just really just a renderer. It's not really a game engine. So there's lots of tools that you will have to build yourself. Lots of things that when you have to scale your game, you need to start building those tools. And Rogue Engine is simply some tooling around Three.js that helps you go around the boilerplate that you'll have to go every single time you have to make a game with Three.js. So in a way, it simplifies your life. Having to, say, write down, set up the renderer, do all these things. You don't have to do any of that. It gives you a nice asset pipeline where you have, your assets in one place. Say, let's go here on the screen. Let me show you what I'm talking about, right? So say right here, right now, right? I built this whole scene, just dragging and dropping things in it, right? So I just dragged and drop stuff here. I changed. Wait a second. I hear noise. Just noise. Just to make sure it wasn't my wife, just in case. But yeah, I mean, this is just a way to make things easier for you when building stuff with Three.js. It gives you a nice component system, right? So you have instead of having to build a system to script components, you have a component system, but it's already optimized. It has a bunch of things that I figured out for you. That's the thing. The other reason for using Rogue Engine is because I built it. so I think I have to be the first user. The reason I built it is because I needed this, right? so I built it, and I decided, okay, why don't just keep building it? Because other people definitely need it, I'm just gonna keep building it, and this is what we have. We have Rogue Engine. But yeah, you can definitely use Three.js by itself, and I encourage you to do it. Don't use Rogue Engine just because it exists. Use it because you need it, because you feel like, hey, I actually want to scale this thing in this way, and I like the component framework style of development. I think is very useful. It's very, very useful having like an editor in front of you where you can, pick up stuff like this, and move it around. And I think this is so useful, like extremely, extremely useful. And, so this is already figured out for you, and yeah, I don't know. Some projects don't need you to build everything from scratch. Some projects you may need to. Sometimes you need to integrate like a little thing there. You're just going to render on a little screen something, right? Let's say you're making a factory double in some kind of that was I think the first thing I did with Three.js. No, that was with Babylon back in the day. What I did was the actual at work, for instance, right? The first time I used it at work was a factory double in a dashboard creating system, things, something like that. And it was this widget that was simply help you build factory doubles. And that was fairly doable with just a few things. And but the moment we wanted to sort of expand on that, on the 3D builder stuff, it was a little harder, right? People had to integrate with Babylon and had to do all these things. Whilst sometimes you just need designers to integrate with that. So we built this whole SDK where you could do these things. This was working in an industrial automation company So yeah, that was more or less what it how it went. But yeah, I think it's useful having like this kind of environment, right, where you can drag and drop stuff and all that. Okay. Satyam. Thanks for answering that. I am still learning Three.js, so wanted a little clarity on that. Yeah, absolutely. I think you should learn Three.js. Mostly, like also if you don't know, like if you're not very familiar with JavaScript, get very familiar with it. Get very familiar with TypeScript. I very much recommend using TypeScript always. Yeah, I know some people don't like TypeScript, but I mean, I didn't, and then I loved it, and I think it's absolutely necessary. For me, it is, and it definitely is something that has helped me a lot. So I recommend it always. But I would say that just learn if you learn the basics of how JavaScript, how Three.js works by itself, you'll be way better at using Rogue Engine, and you'll be Rogue Engine will be a superpower for you and will not be like in the way. It's never really in the way, but it could be in the way of you learning if you just rely on some tooling without really learning how Three.js works. So it's important that you know what's going on in the background with Rogue Engine. Just build a little project with Three.js and you'll see, oh, okay, I understand now everything that Rogue Engine is doing for me in the back. And you also like get a bit. I think you get more of an appreciation for Rogue Engine when you know what's happening in the background. When you've been building projects and oh, this is all that's solving for me. Instead of just thinking it's some magic there happening. It's good. It's nice. It's nice. But yeah, when you want to scale a project, I would definitely use something like this. That's why I built it. But yeah, so you have this whole hierarchy here. You have prefabs. You can bring these are prefabs here we have, right? We can bring them into our project. The icons take a bit of time to load when I'm with OBS. OBS this takes too much out of my computer. So the icons take a long time to move around. But yeah, you have the integration with Rapier. So we're using Rapier, the Rapier physics package here. Yeah, it's an integration of Rapier physics package. Rapier is an integration of a Rapier physics engine, which is a WebAssembly engine built in Rust for that you can use here in Three.js, and it's, you can use it on any web project, right? But it integrates very well with Three.js, and I've created this integration for Rogue Engine that you can download very easily, right? I don't tell you which physics engine you need to use or what. There's a Canon one that it's been maintained for a while because it's Rapier is just way too good. Canon is simple, but it's definitely not on par with how fast and amazing Rapier is. Honestly, right now, I highly recommend going in with Rapier and just heads first Rapier, and it's amazing. It's really amazing and super fast. WebAssembly, makes it really fast. Partially WebAssembly, I think, I don't know, but it is extremely fast. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And it's well documented. Has many things that work amazing with it. So yeah, I highly recommend it. A rusty rapier. That's a great way to put it. Yes, a rusty rapier. Oh, very, very nice. I love that. I love that image. Yes, absolutely. It's a rusty rapier. Oh, you get stung by that. You get you'll get gangrene leg and probably have to cut your leg down. Yeah. But yes, that's more or less it, right? Let's play the game. Remember, the first render, as always, with OBS here is going to be a bit of a pain, but this is more or less the game we have right now. Where are my minions? What happened here? What happened here? We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I think I broke something here. I may have broken something unknowingly. Remember that. Oh, that's something else. While I'm working on this, I'm using a development version always. That is very break prone. Likely very much breaks a lot because it's not it's not a stable version. I always use like the most unstable version that I have, so that I can test it and see what's wrong with, what's broken, all that. We test it here. So that, it's in part of these live streams are part of, testing the stuff that we do here. And I see that we have a problem with, we have a problem. We have some kind of issue. Let's check it out. Okay, we have a problem with the controller here. Okay. Yeah, this is all stuff that I've been changing in the engine. So it's stuff that, just starting to break apart. Yeah, definitely. So let's okay. It's good when these things happen. It's really good because it means that I can attack these problems directly, and I don't have to like wait for you to have the problem, and so I test them out. I make sure that things work here. I make sure to get all the bugs before you do. And then then we get to you can get to the good part directly. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh no, that was not the problem then. Okay, that was something else. All right. Yeah, okay. The other black screen was because of the I was selecting. Here's the thing: if you select something now, it's part of a group of things, right? It's not the same as it was before. And since I stopped this, the problem was that when I stopped this and I was selecting this, previously I was handling it as a single object that I was selecting, but now the thing is selecting like multiple objects, like a group of objects. So it's breaking in that, because I didn't handle that case yet. It's still in development. The multi-select is something that I'm still haven't completely finished, but it's going to be there for the 1.0, which is coming out very, very soon. So, soon we're talking about hopefully next month. Working on some big tooling that we need to add, but yes, hopefully we're gonna have some incredible stuff there for the next for the next version. It's gonna be amazing. So and I hope you're gonna be there for it, right? I hope you're gonna be all there together to do the 1.0 release. Yeah, really hoping to have your support there. Very much appreciated, very much, it'd be amazing. So we're doing this all together here, just testing the development version, making sure that things are working and what's not working. And in this case, I think I may have broken something inadvertently. Could be the case that I may have broken something in the previous. Could it be that I broke something in the previous the previous version, in the previous thing? Maybe I removed the speed. Did I remove the speed? Maybe did I break something around the speed, around movement? 15 is the speed. Let's see what happened here. I probably broke something related to that. Let's see if they're moving. I think the minions are not moving, and that's why we don't see them. Look at them. They are there in the same place. You see, they're not moving. So I think. Oh yeah, you see that? It breaks. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I figured if I played and stopped, it would work. But yeah, I figured that was a problem. I think the last time we were working here, I may have done something. Yeah, we were working on something. I left it midway. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I know what happened. Okay. Yeah, it will not work because we haven't made it work. Yeah, we were. What we were doing last time is we were creating this what do you call it? State machine. Sorry. To handle the different animations and the different behaviors of a minion. Why? Because here's the thing. we have right now we have friendly minions, and we will have we have enemy minions, but we'll also have friendly minions. My head is not working today. My head's not working today. But yeah, usually we have for now we only have the enemy minions, but we want to have friendly minions as well. That are going to be spawning from one of our towers here. You can have a tower that spawns your friendly minions, so you can put here and set up here in the road. And so the idea is that all the minions will come in through this road, right? And they will find your minions. They will meet each other there through their range, and they'll go into attack mode. So we discussed, and we were developing this system where when, say, one of your minions sees an enemy, what do? Well, they enter attack mode, right? They see it because it's in the range, and they go into attack mode. They go and attack that minion. Same as the enemy minions. They have a range where they see another minion, they attack it. That's the idea. There's like a visibility range. Once the first older enemy that touches that range, they go and attack that enemy. They have a list of priority of things to attack. And yeah, that's the idea behind it, basically. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We are creating this state machine to have different stances for our minions. Like, for instance, our own minions will have an idle stance, right? Where they will be waiting here in the road for enemy minions to come through. The enemy minions will never be in idle. They'll either be moving from point A to point B, or they will be fighting our minions. So what we want to do is we want our minions to use all of the states, basically, which is going to be idle. Let me bring them up here. Yeah. So our minions will have idle, we have attack, and we have move, right? That's what our minions will do. But the enemy minions will only move and attack, right? So in this case, what we've done here, what we've figured out more or less here is what do we do when we are moving, right? So we decided, where is it that we added this logic? It's been a while. This was last Thursday. We did this, and I was like, I'm gone already. It's gone from my head, completely gone from my head. So we need, we need to figure this out. Where are we? Yeah. Okay. Apply state. We're doing the apply state. Where are we doing the apply state? Where are we calling the apply state? We're not calling it anywhere. Yeah. So it's not going to work. It's not ever going to work, is it? No. It's never going to work, of course. So we're selecting state here. Okay. So here we're selecting the state, and here we should apply the state. Yeah. Let's see if that works now. There you go. There we have our minions. And there we have, yeah, as always, the first render is a bit clunky. But yeah, we have our first state here. Then we have our cannon. It's going to shoot our enemies. I see that sometimes, like when we upgrade a tower. That's interesting. When we upgrade a tower, it doesn't really add the enemies, like it doesn't add the enemies that it sees at that moment in time. It adds the enemies when they enter the collision. It doesn't count them as entering the collision when you instantiate it. Like when we instantiate it, it doesn't say, oh, see what happens. Like, look at this. Like we have this gun right here, right? So it's shooting that enemy. When we upgrade it, it's waiting for the next one to come in, right? So that's a problem we'll need to solve there. Because I've noticed it a couple of times, and yeah, that's not good. So yeah, but yeah, we have our little towers here that destroy the enemies like this. Yeah, very cool. And we have lasers. Yeah, right now we have lasers, we have missiles, and we have guns. But we need the minion towers, right? We need the barracks. In a way, right? Barracks, or I don't know, replicators, enemy replicate, something. We need some kind of at least one kind of minion that would simply stand there and attack. block the road, you know, and fight the enemies. Something like that we need, right? So let's figure that out. Let's figure out how to achieve that. And yeah, let me know if you're liking that, if you think it's fun. What would you do with this? Like, what kind of games could you do? What other kind of games other than a tower defense would you do? Like, if you could do something else with using the same technology, because it's the same systems, the same subsystems that we're using here, you could use them to build something else, right? Like in this case, we just have a minions following waypoints, right? What if you could create these waypoints dynamically, right? You would use like an A-star algorithm or something that generates these waypoints for you, and you would simply be pointing towards the next waypoint and moving. So how would you go about, like what other kinds of things would you build with it? Like, can you think of that? Like, think of that. Think of that. And tell me what other games you would build. You could build with these things. Tell me there in the chat what you think of that, or leave me a comment if you're watching this after the fact. You know, just leave me a comment there. Don't forget to leave a like there. You know, it really helps when you leave a like, when you subscribe, you do all these things, you interact with the video. YouTube thinks, oh, people should be watching this because people like it. So, you know, just go in and just bang it. You know, bang the like button and do all these things. You know, I'm sorry I have to ask, but hey, if I don't ask, people don't do it. People don't do it. If I don't ask, people actually just stand there, just watch the video and don't do it. And if they don't do it, YouTube thinks they don't like it, right? Because it's, I don't know. I think YouTube likes it way more when people hit the dislike button than when people just don't do anything. I think I'm pretty sure of that. I'm like almost convinced. So I don't know. Yeah. Like button. But yes. Let's keep. I understand now why people always ask for that. Is if you don't ask for it, people don't do it. It's like, and I realized that because I also don't do it unless, you know, I forget. You know, it's I think it's natural. I don't know. But yeah, let's build this game. Let's make this game. Okay. Oh, I have so much electricity around today. I don't know. It's so much static in the air. I think I can actually feel the static in my hands and everywhere. I don't know why it's so static today. So much static. I may turn it into into a machine. Maybe I'm turning into a machine. God, imagine that. Imagine turning into a machine. That would be so boring. All right, so we can move, right? We can move. We're in a state of move. Why? Well, let's see why. We have this discriminator here, right? We have the selector, the state selector for a state machine, right? So a state machine has two steps. We select the state and then we apply the state. We decide what happens when we're in a certain state, right? So in the first step, what we're doing is we're deciding, okay, if the length of enemies, right, is greater than 0, we're going to check the distance to the to the enemy, to the first enemy in our list of enemies, right? So we're not discriminating against we're not like discriminating the enemies themselves. We're simply saying, okay, if you're the first one in the list, right, you could create a sort of discriminator and say, okay, maybe this enemy attacks a certain type of enemy, right? Attacks, I don't know, some kind of class, like this one will go for the tankard style of enemies, but this one, no, this one completely avoids the tankers and goes straight for all the kinds of enemies. You could do something like that, you know, kind of like all the other games do it, you know, all the kind of games like this tend to do it. Mobile games mostly tend to do this kind of thing. So yeah, you could try these things. For now, we're just doing in order, right? So attack the first one, attack the number 0, index 0 on the list. And so if that one is the distance to that enemy smaller than the attack range, smaller or equal to the attack range, then we enter attack state, right? Because we have enemies here, right? We assume that if we have enemies, we're moving, but we'll be moving towards them, right? So if we're in move state and we are in rage, right, and we have enemies, we're going to be moving towards those enemies. So that's something we have to set up in the behavior. Not here. All we know is that if we have enemies and we're not in attack range, we're going to move. That's all we care here. And then we say, okay, if we are a defender, right? If this is a like if we're not in, if we don't have any enemies, right? If we are a defender, we're going to be in idle state. Like I said, right? Defenders, the defender class, we have the attacker class and the offender class. The defender class will always be in defense state, will always be standing by idle, blocking the road, you know, doing that stuff. And then the attackers class, they will be running from point A to point B. They will be like sort of patrolling, I don't know, moving always. So you always want them to be moving, right? So this is the behavior depending on class behavior, right? Defenders idle when they don't have enemies, and they wait. And the other ones, when they don't have enemies, they just keep going. You know, the attackers, they keep going towards their goal. They go through all their waypoints. They do whatever they need to do at that point in time. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I think I would like, though, I would very much like to abstract this way more, because the last time we did was we did this as a sort of class thing, because we're assuming that we always want the enemies to the enemies are always going to be attackers, and they're always going to be, because it's a tower defense, so enemies are always going to go from point A to point B, right? Like the enemies are attacking you. But then we said, okay, we could have a versus, like a battle, right, where you have like half the map and the other enemy has half the map, and you're sending minions to one another and trying to destroy, you know, trying to pass by, like cross around their base or something. You could put on a base here that they have to destroy or something like that, and that could be interesting. That could be an interesting gameplay that you could create with this, potentially. So having attackers and defenders, not enemies and friendlies, gives you that liberty to have, okay, both of them can have defenders and attackers, right? So the ones coming into your territory, they're going to be attackers, right? The defenders are going to be standing there just guarding against your attackers. Now, the thing is, should this actually be more about what the instead of being a class thing, could it be more of a command thing, right? Could it be that you're commanded, if you have a command, like if you have a waypoint set, right, then you should be moving towards those waypoints. That's what you should be doing. That's the default, is to, if you have a waypoint. So in that case, yeah. So in that case, we should say, if we have waypoints, we move, otherwise we idle. I think that's the proper way to go about this. I think that's the proper way. And perhaps attackers will receive waypoints, well, like on creation, when they're created. Where is it? We're creating them here, right? We're creating, in the game logic, we're creating our minions, right? Where are they? So we're spawning our wave of enemies here, right? And we'll have to change all of this, by the way. We'll have to change this logic a lot, because we want to make it way more abstract. The idea is for this to be a way for you to create your own sort of logic around this. So yeah, we have to make it very abstract. But we're placing them very far away, right? And then bringing them instantly into the place where we want them to be at. So they are positioning themselves in the first waypoint. So maybe this is a problem. Maybe we should instantiate them at our base at the, you know, we should have like a spawn point of sorts, and make this like a default if, I don't know, if there's no spawn point. But yeah, there should be some sort of like a home base spawn point for enemies. Like if you have barracks, they'll be coming out of barracks, right? Like our minion in the case of our minions thing, right? They would be going to the first waypoint. That's what they do. They usually, but what they're doing right now, like these minions now, is on start, when they, right after they are awakened, everything, you know, happens, you know, for them. Like it's just all the components are ready, right? Now they start. And what happens when they start? Well, their position is set to the current waypoint, and the current waypoint is the first waypoint, like this, right? So yeah, we could do that. So if we have a current waypoint, right? So if current waypoint is let's do that. Let's say that. Let's change this. I like this way better. Yes. So if current waypoint, we're going to move. Otherwise, we're going to idle. There you go. So if we have a waypoint, we move to that waypoint. Otherwise, we idle, right? We're just saying here that we need to move. We'll care about moving to a waypoint if we're moving, right? We decide what happens when we move and what happens when we attack in the apply state, right? In the phase where we, after we know exactly what our state is, right? So we decide on state, we select the state, and we apply it here, right? In this apply state function. We haven't set up yet what happens when we're idling. We're simply going to be setting up the idle animation, right? We're simply going to say, okay, run idle animation. We haven't yet set up the animator. We're going to do that later. Then we have the attack. Attack is going to do, what attack is going to do is simply going to set up the attack animation, and it's going to, it's simply going to start the attack animation. That's all it's really going to do. It's going to start the attack, whatever the attack is. We need to define it. Maybe it's a weapon of sorts. We need to have some sort of abstraction to say if you have a gun, right? It should be, the API should be the same as if you have if you're fighting with your fists, right? If it's a melee or gun or anything you're doing, matching, anything it is, it should have the same API. Just do attack, just attack or shoot. I don't know, whatever it is. It should have the same API. Probably a component that we're going to build within this. That's going to help you kind of have a framework to work with very easily, so that whatever you build, right, you just follow that API. You say, okay, just have an attack function there, and it's going to work. You know, you can create different types of attack, different types of weapons. So it's probably going to be weapon attack, or you know, something like that. And if it's a gun, it's a weapon that attacks. If it's a punch, it's a weapon that attacks. You know, it's always that. And the weapon itself, the sides, how the attack is carried out. What if he has some kind of collider? Maybe some, I don't know, maybe the melee attack is, you know, has some kind of when I've done some melee attacks where you have like a collider that is attached to like say a sword or something like that with a trigger, right? Or to the fist or something like that, like with a trigger. And so when you hit with a collider or something, right, the collider is attached when you need it, right? So when you're attacking, you know, if you hit an enemy with that collider, with that trigger collider, then you know, you apply the damage. So you sort of create the collider and make it, you know, you place it in the fists. You follow the fists while, you know, the attack is being carried out. It's more or less like that. I think it's a good way to handle it. You could also do it with simply letting the animation run it. I had to do it that way with Canon. I don't think I've done it with the Rapier, but it should be easier with Rapier actually. So we could simply attach it to the bone and attach the collider to the bone, and it should animate. We'll test it out. We'll test it out and try it out, because we will definitely need to do some kind of test with that. Or I think the best way to handle this is to simply have a for tower defenses and RTS sort of games like this, instead of having like a attack where that depends on collisions, is having an attack that depends more on timing, right? On time, on fire rate. Even if it's with your fist or with a sword or anything, you run the animation, you say, okay, every so many milliseconds you hit the enemy. So, start running the animation, and you attack, hit the enemy, every 1 second it sends a blow and makes damage, because it's an RTS at the end of the day. So you damage every so many milliseconds. If you want to make an RTS that is way more complicated, like something like, I don't know, maybe Total War or something like that, you would need another system. You would need a more complex system where enemies fight individually in a more complicated fashion, I guess. But yeah, I would very much recommend going with a different thing there. But in this case, for a tower defense or an RTS sort of game, usually it's just time based, right? It's just frequency, attack frequency. So that's what I would recommend in that for this in particular. But yeah, again, we have, how many people do we have here? We have like 4 people. Wow, that's a lot of people. Always glad to have, if it's 4 people, if it's I think 4 people, I think including Twitch probably. Boomer there being the Twitch the Twitch hero, the absolute Twitch hero. Having someone on Twitch is already a miracle, I think. At times there's absolutely nobody there, and just someone shows up, it's like, whoa. So it's great. I think there's always at least one person, but I really don't know. I never know for a fact. So yeah, let's keep on going with this. So here what we're doing is we're saying that if we are in move state, we're going to simply translate. We're going to move, right? This is moving, translating the object and the rigid body, and this is checking the distance, right? It's checking the distance from origin to go to the next waypoint, right? So it's saying, okay, if we move this much from the previous waypoint, we need to change, and go to the next waypoint. This is saying if we're closer to the waypoint if we are further from the waypoint than the actual let me say this. We're checking the distance to the origin, right? So our distance to origin and the distance from origin to the waypoint, right? So the distance that goes from the origin to the waypoint, and we're saying that if our distance to the origin, right, is greater than the distance from the origin to the waypoint, right, we want to here what we're doing is, first we're checking if the current waypoint is the last waypoint. We're scoring, right, in this case, because it's a tower defense. We probably should have some kind of abstraction here, because we may, so that we can abstract the minion a bit more. I'm always looking for abstractions. But then we go to the next waypoint. I think I would very much like this to be an abstraction, yes. We should probably control this with some kind of collider in the game logic, I think. I would very much like that, to have the proper, like a base. When colliding with the base, we score. I would very much like that instead of what we have here. I don't like this. This works if we're doing specifically one type of game, not always. So, and this is a template that we're building. So yeah. Um, Boomer saying it's a great stream, no ads. Well, that's a bit sad, isn't it? For me. Yeah, I'm not a partner or anything. So I'm not making money. I'm just streaming, But yeah, so it's that's great to watch because you have no ads. But hey, you also want the people streaming to have some has something for it, right? I guess I feel it for the people streaming. It's not easy to stream. I have a newfound respect for people streaming online. Actually, more than ever. Oh, we also have Gomitarka here. Gomitarka. No, Gomitarga. Is it Gomitarga or Gomitarka? I think it's Gomitarga. Let me read it better here. Gomitarka. This font is so bad. I can't read. I don't know if it's a G or a C. I think it's. I'm from Uruguay. Yeah, I speak Spanish natively. But yeah, I don't know if it's a G or a C, like Gomitarka or Gomitarga at the end. Is it a G or a C? The last one. I think I see a C there. But it could be a G. I can't differentiate it with this with the font. This font here. And okay. So it's a C. So it's Gomitarka. Gomitarka. Thank you for joining us, Gomitarka. How's it going, mate? Nice of you to join us. Thank you. Yeah, I can read it there. Yeah, I can see it there. Thank you very much. Very cool, very cool. Nice of you to join us. Thank you very much for being there, mate. We're doing a and also you're joining on Twitch, which is already like marvelous. Like imagine that. We're building this tower defense. The idea is this is a template, right? So that it's a web game, Rogue Engine. We can. The idea is that you'll be able to use it with any sort of game that needs towers that attack, that needs minions that move from waypoint to waypoint, and that needs spawning minions, attacking minions that attack each other as well. So that's the part we're doing now. We have you can upgrade and sell towers. You can buy them, right? You can create like this energy tower here, right? And you can upgrade it, right? And you can sell them as well. So you have like a currency. So all these little subsystems that we can use to kind of create all sorts of games. And the idea is to build this as a template that you can use for maybe an RTS sort of game. Are you a Warcraft 3 player? Well, I played Warcraft, a lot when I was, younger. But it's not that I'm too old. Eh? I'm 33. But hey, but I played Warcraft 3 back in the day a lot. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, young, old in the heart. I turned 34 a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so let's call each other young too. Yeah, let's call each other young so that we don't feel bad. Let's be 90s kids and then let everyone else leave us alone. Yeah, I'm going to be 34 this year. So yeah, it's October 31st, Halloween. It's going to be my last day as a 33-year-old. I'm going to be a 34-year-old. You know how that is. You know how that goes. And you've already been there. So yeah, it's fun. I think it's more fun to be 33 than 34, just like it was more fun to be 25. Oh, look at that! I know very few people. I when I meet someone who's born, October 31st, it's like wow, 34 sucks. Almost 40. Well, wait. It's still not there. Still not there. You still get. You still have. You know, we still have more years in front of us. You know, like until 40. You know, it's like, you know, it's 6 more years. Eh? It's just, you know, let's wait it out. Let's wait it out. Just hold on a second. We're gonna get there soon enough. But hey, it's just it's not there yet. Not there yet. Not there yet. You know. We still got time. We still got time. We're still in the 30s. We're still before 35. I think you're not close to 40. When you're 36, you're like, all right, yeah, I'm getting close. Yeah, this is real. This is some real shit right here. I'm getting fucking old, man. I'm gonna be an old man, get wrinkled, and you know, everything's gonna stop falling apart. You know, I'm gonna go grow man boobs and all that. I told myself that when I was in my 20s. Yeah, we all did. You know, it's incredible. It's incredible how time goes by, and suddenly after a certain age, it's like it just goes by, and it's like, wow. And I think the whole thing about the pandemic and all the thing that happened with COVID, the time went by so much faster. I felt, I don't know, like just run off, just like slipped away. It's so weird. So, you know, I felt like I lost like 3 years of my life. It's just, you know, like 3 years that just feel like they didn't happen. I don't know. It's weird. Such a weird feeling. I never felt that before in my life. So I don't know. Also, I never lived anything like that before. So yeah, probably someone who was in wartime or something feels like that was walk in the park. You know, that's nothing. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I was telling that to myself in my 20s as well, mate. But yeah, well, the old folk here, the old man here, 33-year-old man, what it's doing here is this RTS. A game, it's sorry, RTS, tower defense game that you can use to build an RTS, something like Warcraft. You could definitely use it for something sort of like Warcraft, and the idea is that, right, that you will be able to kind of have bases that spawn enemies and spawn points for these enemies, things like that. So we're figuring out the logic behind these things, mostly because I have to be very careful the things I do. Because what I'm building is a platform, right, to build those games. So I have to be careful not to focus too much and not to be super exclusive on the tower defense side, and make sure that it works as a platform to build any sort of tower defense, because I don't want people to just build this game, right? I want people to be able to use this as a platform to build, you know, to run their imagination, right, and see what happens. That's the idea, right? So yeah, that's more or less what we're going on. Is this meant to run in the browser? Asks Gomitarka. We'll build the whole framework. Well, this is Rogue Engine. I built Rogue Engine. I'm the developer of Rogue Engine, right? This is working on Three.js. That's the first thing that I'm building, right? And while I'm building Rogue Engine, I'm testing Rogue Engine. This is the development version of Rogue Engine, right? We're in the 0.6.6. It's the last beta. We're going to be in 1.0 in the next version, and that's going to be emotional moment because we're finally over with beta and finally reaching stability. But I have to heavily test it, this last beta. So and while I'm developing it, the 1.0, I'm bringing in the newest, most stable features into these live streams and using that to make sure that shit works and doesn't break apart while I'm doing it. And while I'm doing it, I'm also making games, making stuff that, you know, finding bugs in the engine and things like that to fix it, while I'm building this other framework to create the tower defense sort of game. That's going to be available for free. So it's going to be like a template to build tower defense games, or, you know, sort of using those mechanics to make any kind of RTS, I guess, you know, or at least do some of this stuff. For how long have you been building it? Well, this particular game thing, We've been building it since how long? It's been since I think the first stream that we did this particular thing, the first version. I don't remember now. Oh my god, I don't remember it. I'm trying to think. Like, probably March. Probably March. I think it was March. I have to look. You know, I have to go to my to Blue Sky. I think I published in Blue Sky like the next day of the live stream, and I showed some stuff. But we also did all the things in the middle there. So we've been like working on, you know, on and off on different things, and I've been explaining things like how to do stuff in the engine. If you ask for something, I usually just come here and then start, you know, or people, or we talk with people here, right? I just build stuff. So it takes a while. I come here maybe with sometimes an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3, and I only build when I'm here. So yeah, next what I'm doing afterwards is just working on the engine, because I have a bunch of tooling to do. But the whole engine, no, the whole engine. It's been like 5 years, about something like that. The whole engine, yeah. We've been through the first alpha in the first 2 years, maybe, and then yeah, absolutely, yes. It's I mean, it's 5 years, about 5 years. Yeah, I think it's the first 2 years was the alpha. Then we started with the first beta, I think, something like that. And yeah, we reached like the end of the line. I decided it's going to be a good solid beta time to get to a good. When I saw that I wasn't breaking any features, like stuff wasn't breaking, and we were reaching stability, I could update things without breaking things, and where I could run roll updates, right, instead of having to do like a new version update, kind of like that. More often than not. I would know that it was a platform worth going 1.0 with, which is the idea, right? It's the idea to have a 1.0 with that. Oh, we have someone else here on Twitch. Look at that, Twitch people coming in, and lots of Twitch people coming in. Amazing. Twitch, you know, YouTube people, you should comment more, because Twitch is winning right now. It's super strange. So we have Vitamin Stacker, right? I think it's Vitamin Stacker, saying, howdy, I explored Three.js before and I run into your engine. Very awesome work and cool to see the guy behind that. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it, Vitamin Stacker. I'm very glad to have you here, and thank you for the compliment, and I hope you enjoy the using the engine. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. I come here Tuesdays and Thursdays, okay, more or less at this time of day. It's going to be, yeah, about this time of day. I came here at 7. It's, I don't know, 7:30 today, 7:30 today, usually at 7, but today it was 7:30. And usually stay here until 9. We're about 15 minutes to 9, so 9 and something. I usually leave it right there, because I start not working, not doing anything. But yeah, if you have any questions, if you need anything, usually this is the best place to ask the questions. You can leave them on Discord. The Discord is there, for you to ask questions, to ask for help, and and you'll have, I'll help you out. You'll have an answer here usually, or within the Discord itself. That's more reasonable. There are YouTube people as well. Yes, we're streaming through YouTube and Twitch. We're in both, and usually there's more YouTube people than Twitch people. Let me see what we have here. No, but not today. Today we have maybe like 4 people on YouTube. How much is it? Yeah, I don't know. This thing is never accurate. This thing's never accurate, so I really don't know. Let me see. Yeah, it says 4. It could be less. But let me see. So we have Vitamin Stack saying, I ended up working with Raw Three.js, but plan to work more with it in the future. At the moment, I am in a Godot project. Yeah. It's I mean, Godot is a great engine, isn't it? I mean, for the web, I prefer Three.js, but I mean, for everything else, it's really good. Godot is very solid, and I appreciate the work my Argentine brothers are doing there. Being them Uruguayan. Then saying, what we have here is saying, you're talking with yourselves, between yourselves there. I stream my development and learning process. Oh, nice, mate. Very cool. And so yeah, if you're interested in Godot, go subscribe there to Vitamin Stacker. And well, subscribe now. I think you're doing Twitch, right? So go follow. And beardscript, you have a hybrid accent somehow, half Scottish and half Spanish. Yeah, it's my accent is a bit complicated. At least it sounds it sounds like it to me. Yeah, the thing is, okay, if I try, I can like a single accent and try and speak in a single way, but my accent is an absolute mess. No problem, Bitamic. No, no problem at all. Thanks for joining us, and thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you ever start using it, be glad, and let me know if you need any help and you need any collaboration. There, I'm always helping everyone using Rogue Engine. Everyone using Rogue Engine, I'm the first fan of your game. Like I always say, I'm your first user, the first fan of your game. You have one big fan. But yeah, my accent is a mess because I'm Uruguayan. I grew up in Uruguay, and then I started learning Spanish and English in Uruguay first with British people on the internet. Then I started learning with American people, and then sort of that at that moment in time it got very messy, and then I moved to Italy, and then so I learned Italian there, and then I moved to the UK and live here now, and my accent has been everywhere, absolutely everywhere. The UK, in the north of England, they speak very close to sort of like a it's a mix, right? It has lots of Scottish bits and all that, but it's nowhere near Scottish. Like Scottish is very, very tough to understand if you're not used to it. But yeah, I have a very hard time understanding it. But yeah, my accent, it's just everywhere. I pick up the accent everywhere I go. Same when I was in Italy, like I was living in southern Italy, and I picked up like their way of speaking when I learned Italian, and then I was living in northern Italy, and I picked up more of their way of speaking, because just talking to people, mimetizing, and I think it never happened to me in Spanish. Like I could never pick up the accent of some other place in Spanish because I'm way too Uruguayan for that. But in English, is absolutely in a language that is not mine, that I've just learned through, imitation, because I literally had to imitate other people to learn it. That's how I learned. And that's certainly, I'm learning Greek now, and I'm probably going to learn however, however the people that I'm listening to speak. And so it's more or less my I think it's going to be my path is going to be, I think it's going to be a bit rough accent wise there. I don't know. Vitamin Stacker says, that's funny. I have a similar experience with my accents too. What languages do you speak? Tell me there. What languages do you speak? That would be interesting to see what languages do we have here in the chat. Yeah. Because what I have is Spanish, Italian, and English, and I'm learning Greek now. Yeah. Oh, says Vitamink says English and Portuguese native and Spanish. Oh, you speak Spanish as well. Very nice, very nice. You're where are you from? Is it Portuguese from Portugal or Brazil? And then we have here. Oh, this chat is a mess. The app, the chat app is a mess. Portugal, very nice, very nice. Yeah, Portugal. I have to go to Portugal. I have to visit Portugal. I have it on my something to check on my list. Visiting Portugal. I had to visit Braga, where my family, part of my family was from Braga, so I have to, I have to see there where they came from, right? Where family, I think my family is from all over Europe, so there's places to go everywhere and see. Oh, this is where they used to live. Part of my family. This is an interesting thing. Yeah. So, yeah. But well, and the other part, big part, were Galicians, so they spoke a very similar accent. It is very similar accent, very similar. The Galician dialects has lots of Portuguese things, right? It's you can sort of. I know Galicians can understand Portuguese very easily. Like we have in South, in Uruguay, north of Uruguay, we have Portuñol, which people in north of Uruguay can speak Portuguese very easily. Can understand Brazilians. So it's it's kind of similar there. The Portuñol and the Galician there, the mixed up. And the Romantic language, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French, are very well similar. Yeah, French is a bit difficult for me. I haven't have a good luck with French, but I did have good luck with Italian. I get very confused with Portuguese. I need to learn Portuguese. That's definitely something I want to do, but get very, very confused easily with Portuguese because of the Italian and because of how many similarities there are with Spanish and Italian. Portuguese there in the middle. I start trying to speak Portuguese and I end up speaking Italian without throwing a bunch of Italian words there in the middle, which is it's a mess. So funny though, Spanish speakers have a hard time understanding Portuguese. Portuguese people can understand Spanish. I understand Portuguese very easily. I have a hard time speaking it, but for instance, me and my wife, we've met lots of people from Brazil, from Portugal, and we've spoken with all of them very easily. We understand each other very well. In fact, we speak in Spanish. They speak to us in Portuguese, and we have no problem. Some things get lost in the way, right? But mostly they speak slowly. When people start speaking too fast in their own language, obviously, all the nuances just fly off the window. And, you don't know what the hell the other person's talking about. I do that with Portuguese and Spanish when trying to speak Spanish. Yeah, yeah, it happens. It happens a lot. Yeah, but imagine add another language. If you learn, if you know Spanish and you know Portuguese, now try to learn Italian. Are you going to start throwing in a bunch of Spanish words in the middle? I think you're using the same muscle to kind of conjure the other language, and so while you're conjuring the other language, you start speaking another language that's very similar. So I think that's what happens. I don't know. But yeah, okay. Let's build some games because it's just gonna we're getting too entertained, I think, here. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. I love language. I love languages. Been learning languages my whole life, so it's I get trapped by these conversations. It's nice to have some other topics other than just game development, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know if people are, if everyone's interested in that. But yeah, I love it. I'm big. Otherwise, I wouldn't be learning Greek, for instance, right? If I didn't love languages, it's the hardest language I've ever tried, and it's definitely hard. Oof, very, very hard. Talk about hard. Like, yeah, I don't think it gets harder than Greek, Russian. Probably Greek, Russian, and German are probably there in the hard ranks. I did some bits of Japanese and it felt easier than Greek, way easier than Greek. Very simple compared to Greek. My wife's doing Japanese, is learning Japanese, and the things she's telling me about, you know, she's as she gets better, is like, that's so easy compared to Greek. Yeah, very hard, very hard. Beautiful language though, beautiful language, Greek, but an amazing language. I absolutely love it. Otherwise, I wouldn't, I wouldn't even making the effort of learning it. And I have no reason to learn all that. I like it. I very much like the language. But yes, all right. Let's go for this. So what are we going to do here? What are we doing here? So we were saying that we should probably abstract this thing, right? Because here's the thing: we shouldn't be scoring. We shouldn't be scoring in the minion. We shouldn't let the minion score itself. We should let the game logic do the scoring, because what we should do is have the minion be sort of an abstract piece of the game, something that we can define through game logic, something that we can define through other pieces of things, right? We don't want our minion to decide what it does, right? In the sense that you know, game logic wise, what happens? Does a score happens? Well, that should be relegated to game logic and not to the minion. So this is a mistake. This block of code here is a mistake, and we should remove it and put it somewhere else where it doesn't bother anyone. And we should have a waypoint. Yeah, this is okay. We should just have the waypoints there and no scoring. I think that's a proper way to go. And the game logic itself should just remove the enemy as it reaches that goal. Yeah, I think that's the proper way to do it. And the interesting thing is that we are getting there to a point now. I think we're finding the logic here. Last time I think I was a bit more lost. Vitamin saying, just remember, I made my personal site with Three.js, ended up being spaghetti code. Need to refactor. Yeah, it's very easy. That's the thing with Three.js, right? I mean, it has no rules as to how to use it, other than, you know, just render, which is amazing. But also, it's very easy to fall prey of spaghetti and many other food types, depending on what you're doing. But yeah, it can be very it can get very, very messy, right? As with anything that's way too free, you need some kind of framework. You need some kind of, you know, sometimes build yourself even some kind of procedure to do things in order not to get in a mess, a spaghetti mess. That's more or less what I tried to do here with Rogue Engine, was to have, at least to make games have this sort of structure. But I understand that it's probably not that intuitive for someone who wants to make parts of the website. I think you could totally make, if the website is built, website is a Three.js website, you could totally make it fully on Rogue Engine. I think what I need to figure out, I think, to make it way easier to do that is the UI. I think it's harder to do UI now because people don't really know how to do UI without frameworks like React and and Vue and all that, which I absolutely hate. React. Oh my god, I hate React so much. But I think that if we manage to put together like a good UI system for Rogue Engine that is, you know, intuitive, easy to use, with pure web components, are just beautiful. Like I always say, the best part of Rogue Engine is the hierarchy, and the hierarchy is a pure web component. It's fast, it's amazing, and the system is just beautiful. It just works amazing. I totally recommend using web components and forgetting about all frameworks forever. Saying I recall looking at this engine and being impressed, but was overkill for my learning experience. Yeah, that's okay, but we'll for sure use it next. Brilliant. I'm learning, so it's always messy. Yeah, of course. And it's mixed plus use green sock to control some parameters. Okay. Uniforms. That is awesome. I have spaghetti exactly, but because of the structure. Yeah. No, that's okay, mate. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. You know, I'm here. The first reason I'm here is to answer questions and help people. Building the game is complementary. It's what I do while I'm not answering questions and doing everything else. So But it's okay. It's okay. I brought the I brought part of the distractions as well. I get deviated as well. Probably probably distracting myself from development. But so it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Look, I think that Rogue Engine gives you kind of a it's good to learn Three.js by itself. I think you should always learn Three.js by itself first to know what Three.js is doing. And Rogue Engine is a good way to it definitely is. It's very tricky. Dev streaming is tricky indeed. But yeah, I think you should learn Three.js first. You should learn how to use it properly. And then when you use Rogue Engine, I mean, just running your first render, as in, oh, this works here. And this is how it works. Nice. Then you try the same thing with Rogue Engine. You'll see, oh, this is all that Rogue Engine is doing for me. So the moment you need to kind of scale something, anything, it gets so much easier to scale it. You understand what's going on in the background. You really get to respect the work going on behind it. I go back and try and do this exercise often to see, okay, what's missing here. And that's how we built Rogue Engine, kind of going in and building a little project there, boilerplate project with Three.js, and seeing, okay, what am I doing? Where do I need to be more flexible, and where do I need to be more rigid? So it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. It helps me value the work I've done with Rogue Engine more, and it keeps my my finger in temperature. Part of what I'm doing here, making games. I got comfortable with Three.js. Need more TS experience. So yeah, TypeScript is a big lifesaver. I highly recommend going with TypeScript every single time if you can. TypeScript saves your life. I don't know. It's hard to see until you see it, until you live it, and it's like, oh, this would have been a mess without TypeScript. And then it's a second nature. Then you can't live without it, honestly. Got to make some different shaders, mixing shaders. Yeah, it's beautiful with sound visualizer plus interaction between windows. Next is making more complete stuff like games. Yeah, Java dev. Oof. Yeah, you're a Java dev. You will love TS. It definitely. TS will come as second nature to you compared to JS. Then it's going to be more up your alley, I think. You speak. You speak. Yeah, I'm very much into into TypeScript in the sense that it's the tool that I've found that everywhere around you find that TypeScript, and it works. It's great, and yeah, I don't know. There's lots of types for it everywhere, so you miss it when you don't have it. You miss it when you don't have it. And that's probably problematic, but hey, life is so much easier once you have it. Definitely, like once you integrate in your process and your mental process, you already have that, so you're gonna be fine. With Java, I mean, TypeScript's gonna feel loosey goosey for you. Stronger type safety is awesome, but it's bit variables plus extra build steps. Yeah. Definitely, yeah. With TypeScript, well, the cool thing about Rogue Engine is that it's already built for you, the whole thing. So it's there. You don't have to do anything. It's just when you create a component, this is a TypeScript component, and this is specifically a JavaScript component. So you use TypeScript as default, right? Default here is TypeScript. It's and you can use types if you want. You can definitely use pure JavaScript here. It's just omit the types, and yeah, like here, right? I'm omitting type all the time. I'm just inferring them, right? I'm letting the language infer the types and absolutely everything. Like I think not everything, but most things, right? Like I put the type when I don't want it, when I can't infer it. Like here are the health indicators in HTML development, because I know I'm going to get it from this thing here, right? So I want to know that I need that specific type. But when I'm assigning a default value, I don't write it. I don't do this, because it's I find it silly. I don't know. I find like it's just bothering. It's just more code for no reason. So if it's inferred, that's great, This is inferred, so that's fine for me. That then depends on you, on your particular what you like. Your likes and dislikes, your preference. That's preference, pure preference. um yeah, inference is beautiful, it's fantastic. um JSDoc, yeah, I like JSDoc, but it's yeah, I very much prefer TypeScript. I mean, I respect JSDoc. Some people love JSDoc. I feel it's two variables. I feel it just adds lots of noise to the code. I like using JSDoc to document, right? JSDoc to say, oh, okay, that, yeah, see, yeah, this, and then when you look at this, from if you do this, the update, yeah, well, yeah, you need to do it in the declaration, I think. Um, yeah, I think, that's the way. I don't remember they have been working much better, but yeah, I don't know. I think maybe like that. This the update. No, I don't remember. I don't remember how I do it. But yeah, I don't know. I remember this working fine when you just did this, and it gave you like a little comment on top. Oh, maybe I have to do it like this, right? There you go. And hello world. World. I think it's like that. This the update. Yeah, there you go. There you get it there, right? So I think that's very useful when you get, to document your code like that, and people get to see what this does. Okay, hello world. That's interesting. I think that's good to document your code easily for the user here, right there in the code. But yeah, very noisy for types. It's very noisy. Okay, so let's we're gonna be here for a few more minutes. So give me a like there, give me a subscribe if you haven't yet. And yeah, and let me see how many people we have here, because we don't have that many people on YouTube. Probably, yeah, we have barely anyone here watching. Oh my god. Yeah. Back on track, yeah, back on track. But it's just to close up the stream for today, because there's nobody here. It's just you and me. I think probably, I don't know, Boomer probably left. I don't know if are you there, Boomer? I don't know. Whoever's there, I don't know who's there. There were a few people on Twitch. I think probably some people left. Yeah, I don't know. But it's fine. So we're just gonna at least wrap this up. Okay, we're gonna do a little wrap up. We're gonna come back on Thursday. We're gonna focus on development and do this thing properly. And yeah, and hopefully I have more updates about the no-code system. And yeah, we're gonna have some nice fun with that. But yeah. So we need to abstract this. We know that we need to abstract this. Abstract this should be handled by game logic. Fuck this, man. How does it know? Okay. And then what else? What else? Yeah, we know that we want. One thing we did here is good thing we did is we realized that we need the current waypoint to define if we move or we idle. So if we have a waypoint, we move. Right? That's the whole point of this. And we need to define the waypoints. That's the other thing we need to do. We need to tell the game logic to give us the waypoints, right? So instead of bringing in the waypoints like this, I think what we should do is have the waypoints be an actual variable here. And the game logic will give us the waypoints if we are an attacker minion, right? So it's the game logic deciding these things, right? So yeah, I think what we should do here is have waypoints be, yeah, so that's gonna break. Well, yeah, right there. Yeah, we're gonna do waypoints. It's going to be, yeah, fuck that. Yeah. It's going to be an array of game objects basically. And we're going to pass those waypoints in here. What did I write there? Oh, sorry there. Yeah, some noise. I pressed the wrong button there when I was trying to press enter. And and yeah, but we have this thing here, I think, just passing in the waypoints with the yeah, from the game logic, I think is the proper way to do this. So that, you know, when we instantiate a wave, we are gonna pass in the you know, we instantiate the enemy here, we instantiate the thing, this enemy here. Well, enemy, not an enemy. It's actually just a minion. But we should probably. Does the minion doesn't know about game logic, right? Yeah, the minion has game logic here. He shouldn't have game logic. Yeah, we shouldn't be using game logic here. Yeah, that's why. Oh, look at that. We're using the game logic here. That's wrong. That's wrong. Okay. So we have an intrusion of game logic in our minion. We realize this now. We're going to solve that next. Yeah, in the next Thursday, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the game logic from here, right? Any game logic from the minion. We're going to use the minion itself to sorry, the game logic itself to handle all the game logic related stuff. We're going to score from game logic, and we're going to give the minion the waypoints from the game logic. Also, then we're going to have like the other minions. Why? Because the minions from our towers, the defender minions that we're going to have here, we want to give them ourselves a position. Like we want to like click on the screen, like click on the road here and say, okay, yes, move here, right? Something like that, so that they will move to a certain spot. And yeah, they'll need to have some kind of formation and all that. So we need to figure that out. That's important. So let's yeah, let's keep that. Yeah, let's do that for the next one, eh? What do you say? All right. And Shivan, how's it going, Shivan? How's it going, mate? Nice to have you here. We're gonna close for today. Oh, you're on the Discord, Vitamink. Nice to have you there. Nice to have you on the Discord. Join the Discord. Join the YouTube there. And next time we're going to focus on that. We're going to make our minions. I think it's what we're doing now is the most RTS things that we're going to be doing. So it's really going to get very RTS-y from now on. Like all the stuff with minions are really going to turn this into a very RTS-like development from now on. Because we're going to have, for instance, the selection of the spawn point, right, of the assembly point, I guess, of the minions in the road. Where do you want them to be positioned at? We will have that. We'll have the enemies attacking each other. That's going to be so much fun. Like we're adding the animations to our minions and all that. So because after that, we'll need the animations. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be so much fun, I think. You know, I think we're gonna have some really cool stuff there, right? We're gonna have a blast with that. I think it's so much fun. Like I always say, building these things that, you know, they it's one thing to build controllers, right? Things that you can control with your hands, right? Would say a controller with your mouse or something like that. But there's something magical about building behaviors and then watching those behaviors like unravel themselves, you know, out there in the wild, you know, sort of watching the minions moving around in the field and fighting each other. There's something interesting about that. Like I always say, I very much enjoyed making the if you've seen the examples in the Rogue Engine examples, the spaceship game, I think is one of the spaceship games. There's an AI that just fights and does how's it called dog fights, and just instead of fighting, sometimes I would just watch the dog fights, because I built a whole dog fighting system with that. And it was so cool to build. It's just then watch the enemies fight each other. Like, you know, the friendlies and the enemies fighting each other, like trying to escape, the tailing and find the tailing to attack the enemy was so cool. That was so amazing. Very much enjoy doing that. So yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be very much fun to kind of have our little minions fight each other, and yeah, I know it's so much fun to do that. Vitamin, that I thought making a tower defense sounds like a fun project. Yeah, definitely. A tower defense has many subsystems that can be applied to many different games as well. That's why we're building this. I think it's what makes this an interesting project to build, because it's it's very versatile. It's very useful, all right, to many different use cases. So yeah, I think it's cool. All right. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you had some fun. We talked about lots of things, probably lots of things very unrelated to game development, probably very unrelated to things that anyone cared about other than, the 2 or 3 people that were talking about this stuff. But hey, thank you so much. And I'll see you next time. Hey, Thursday, 7 p.m. UK. So 2 hours before now. 2 hours before this time that is right now that you're watching this. So hey, see you later, bye bye.